What happened to Yoh? Is he still alive? Why does the story continue with Hana and not with Yoh? Have you seen the original Shaman King or the 2021 remake, or perhaps this series called Shaman King Flowers? Whether you are familiar with them or not, in this clip you will discover the world of Shaman King. Hi, I'm Wasabe. Before we begin, I mentioned that I recommend you checking the chapters of this video, as I will give a brief presentation from the wiki, then my opinion without spoilers, followed by the spoilers, and the final conclusion with a rating. You can also find the video about Shaman King from 2001 versus the 2021 in the description. Enjoy watching. Shaman King Flowers is a Japanese manga series written and illustrated by Hiroyuki Takei. It's a continuation of Takei's original manga series, Shaman King. Shaman King Flowers follows the adventure of Hana Asakura, the son of Anna and Yoh, and his travels in the world of shamans, as well as within the Asakura clan. Additionally, the story follows the lives of the next generation of the original Shaman King cast. Now, after going through the description on the wiki, there are still several questions remaining. Why does the story continue with Hana and not with Yoh? What happened to Yoh? Is he still alive? Is Hana just a copy of Yoh? And many other questions of this kind I think you have now in mind, both those who have only seen the original and those who have seen the remake or even this series. Let's start first with some basic information so that even those who haven't seen the previous series, namely Shaman King, can understand what this clip is about. So, who is Hana Asakura? Hana Asakura is the son of Yoh Asakura and Anna Kyoyama, and the heir of the Asakura family. The Asakura family being a well-known and extremely powerful family of shamans. If you watch the remake, you found this out right at the end of the series. And like Yoh, at the age of 13, Hana participates in a shamanic fight. Not the same fight to become the Shaman King, but a completely different fight. The fight is called the Flower of Maze, plus many other similarities with his father Yoh. For those who have seen the original or especially the remake, the similarities will make you feel nostalgic as they will bring back memories of the events from the first Shaman King series, or at least that's the case for me, and I really like this about the Shaman King Flowers series. However, this aspect can be a double-edged sword. Some might like it, while others might not. More details about this a little later in the clip. Now that we have made a brief introduction to the Shaman King Flowers universe, both for those who are completely new to Shaman King universe and even for those who have seen one or both of the previous series, let's move on to the more details. Alright, let's dive straight into two of the spiciest and most important aspects of the Shaman King Flowers series. It's Hana Asakura just a copy of Yoh in terms of character, appearance and behavior, especially since they both look extremely similar and even the beginning of their anime series are almost identical. The second question, where is Yoh? Is he still alive or dead? And where is Anna? What happened to her? Especially since at the end of the Shaman King, the remake, we can see them all doing fine alongside Hana when he was little. So what's happening and where are they all? Where is the team that Yoh formed in Shaman King, where first of all Hana is and isn't at the same time extremely similar to Yoh. Hana and the good part of the story in Shaman King Flowers are extremely similar to Yoh and his adventures in Shaman King. However, after going throughout the whole season, I believe that these similarities are intentional, both between Hana and Yoh and between the rest of Yoh team members, respectively Hana's team. And of course, similarities also between certain situations. For example, Hana, like Yoh, already has a wife chosen by his parents. More about this in the spoiler section. Like his father, Hana is not a big fan of school. Who loves school? Anyway, returning back to the subject. And the list of similarities can go on. Even the beginning in the same cemetery on Amidamaru's grave is almost identical. Even the fact that he has at the beginning an almost identical fight as Yoh and Ryu. And from what I've heard from fans of this series, some feel bothered by this resemblance and call the series more of a copy of Shaman King than a continuation. But here I will offer my opinion explaining why I think this statement is wrong. It's evident, at least for me, that these similarities are not accidental or the author's lack of inspiration, but rather they were created to show that Hana and Yoh are extremely similar at the same age, as well the children of the rest of Yoh's friends and allies, but wanting to show that they are also extremely different at the same time, the differences between them being more than obvious. Now let's clarify even better what I mean and explain what the differences between Yoh and Hana are. A more than obvious difference is that unlike Yoh, who is calm and relaxed, Hana is extremely aggressive and very thirsty for battles, being the total opposite of his father. Even though they sometimes have the same reactions, these differences are visible throughout the series. Another major difference between the two is the talent and abilities, with Hana being much more talented and capable than his father at a much younger age. And since he is also Anna's son, it is evident that he has inherited not only Yoh's ability to control Furyoko at a very high level, sometimes even intuitively, but also Anna's extremely powerful ability to summon and control demonic spirits. Because of these characteristics, I can say that Hana is extremely similar to both parents, but also different, because he has inherited traits from both, but also developed his own personality. Plus, a comparison between him and Naruto. Yes, you heard it right, Naruto from the anime Naruto. More about this in the spoiler section. Alright now, and the second question you probably want an answer to. Where the heck is everyone? Where is Yoh? What happened to him? Why isn't the series continuing with him, and why can't we see him with Hana at all? The same goes for Anna and the rest of Yoh's team. Where did everyone disappear to? Well, I try to answer to this question, trying to not give spoilers. At the same time, I mentioned that the answer is quite vague, and because I'm trying to respond in the non-spoiler section, it will be even vaguer answer. In certain memories of Hana and at the end of Shaman King from 2021, we'll see them all together and happy. However, in the present story of Shaman King Flowers, we can't see any of them. We can only see Tamao, who takes care of Asakura family Hot Spring Inn, which Anna desired, and rising and taking care of Hana. We can see Ryu, the brothers Yoh dad took care of, but Yoh and Anna are nowhere to be found. From the beginning of episode 1 to the end of episode 13, which is also the last episode of the first season of the Shaman King Flower series, until the end we don't get a concrete answer if they are alive or not, nor what happened to the rest of the team, except for Tao, Ryu and Tamao. However, to clarify better what I'm talking about, let's move to the spoiler section. Forewarning, attention, the part where I discuss certain events from the season 1 of the anime Shaman King Flowers is coming up, so there is a risk of getting spoilers from small to extremely large ones. Pause the clip, go watch season 1 if you haven't watched it, and come back here when you're done. However, if you don't mind spoilers or you are finished watching season 1, continue from here. I've warned you in case of anything, so proceed at your own risk. Alright, let's start by discussing the similarities and significant differences between Yoh and Hana. Firstly, both series begin with each of them standing at Amidamaru's grave, and in both situations, they are attacked by Ryu. However, not the same Ryu. Yoh is attacked by the first Ryu, who later becomes his comrade named Memiya Rinosuke, alias Wooden Sword Ryu. However, Hana is attacked by Ichihara Ryuji, alias Wooden Sword Ryu II, so Ryu's successor. The similarities between the two Ryu are numerous, but before discussing them, let's return to the similarities between Yoh and Hana. Even though their fight and beginning in the cemetery are extremely similar, it doesn't take long until we see a major difference. The fact that Hana is much more aggressive is a clear difference between him and Yoh. As in previous series, Yoh always fight calmly and relaxed, even in the most tense moments. In contrast, Hana throughout the first season of Shaman King Flowers is extremely aggressive and thirsty for battle. Another major difference between the two is that Yoh never let Amidamaru stray too far from him. In contrast, Hana does, and this will cost him dearly as he will lose Amidamaru, whom he inherited directly from Yoh. Another significant similarity is also between Hana and Anna, because he is Anna's son, and when Hana is near death, demon spirits will appear to prevent his death. We also discover that there is a risk of invoking an extremely dangerous demon with such strong negative feelings that it constantly repeats, "Die, die, die." Not even Anna's legendary demon, which Hana inherits, compares to Hana's demon. Thus, we can observe a multitude of similarities, including with Anna and her demon curse, but also the fact that Hana has a different personality from his parents. Although he inherits both talents and is even more talented than them, also those demons don't appear just because of his talent. His talent is to control them. Of course, for now, he is still unable to control the powerful ones, only the very tiny ones, and ends up being consumed by their negative feelings. He received this curse as a side effect to be brought back to life because his old body, as well as his parents, was destroyed on a journey in a war-torn country when Hana was just a baby. So he received this curse to be brought back to life. Although it's clear that both he and his parents are brought back to life, we can see Yoh and Anna anywhere in Hana's daily life from the present story of Shaman King Flowers. This leaves open the possibility of two theories. Either they have already died and have a certain price to pay for it to be brought back to life, and that's why we can't see them yet, or they are fighting a very powerful enemy. And here, discussing extremely powerful enemies, we enter a very interesting part. We discover that apparently those who become Shaman Kings not only become kings over shamans but gods, and the previous gods still exist. And Hao can stand the former king who ruled until Hao was the next Shaman King in the shamanic tournament. However, if out of the 8 former kings alias gods, 3 of them agree for the Flower of Maze to begin, known as post-shamanic tournament battle, or shortly the Flower of Maze, then the battle can begin, and hence the name of this series, Shaman King Flowers. The purpose of this fight is for the gods to fight each other when there are disagreements, without destroying the planet, because they are all so powerful that if they were to fight directly, the effect on the planet would be disastrous. In this way, each god participating in that battle chooses a team of shamans to fight for him, and thus the gods settle their scores between them, and as Hao can stand for Waivis, the former Shaman King, and neither can for Waivis stand Hao, and the dispute between these gods and the teams whose gods will fight is more than evident. Now that we have discussed some similarities and differences between Hana and his parents, let's move on the similarities between the two Ryus, as well as the rest of the team. Firstly, Ryu and Ryuji are extremely similar, but the explanation for why they are so similar is quite simple. Just as in Hana's case, where the similarities are because Hana and Yoh are his parents, in Ryuji's case, the similarities are because of Ryu's popularity outside shamanic battles as Wooden Sword Ryu, which left a deep impression in the world of fighters and thugs in schools, since Ryu managed to unite several schools as Wooden Sword Ryu. And since in the present story of Shaman King Flowers, Ryu is clearly an adult and is no longer in school, there will always be fighters who want to become like their idol. In Ryuji's case, his idol is Ryu. That's why he calls himself Wooden Sword Ryu II. Hence, the extremely similar physical appearance and the rest of the occurrences of this kind highlight the similarities between Ryu and Ryuji. But also the fight between Ryuji and Hana was a coincidence created by the author to highlight the similarities between Ryu and Ryuji, also between Hana and Yoh, but also the differences at the same time, plus the fact that the way Ryu and Ryuji find about the world of spirits and spirits is extremely similar. And just like in Ryuji's and Hana's case, the rest of the team is in the same situation. They have traits that remind you of other characters but are also different from the first generation of Shaman King. Thus, I have come to the conclusion that the author intentionally created the story in this way, not out of lack of inspiration, but on the contrary, out of desire to create the effect of inheritance from generation to generation. These are the reasons why I have concluded that the similarities are intentionally placed in the story and not out of lack of inspiration. Before drawing the conclusion, let's discuss the last aspect mentioned in the non-spoiler section, namely the comparison between Hana and Naruto. What do I want to say with that? Well, let's list a lot of similarities and let you tell me in the comments whether the two seem extremely similar or not. Let's start with the most obvious ones. They both have an extremely powerful and well-known parents in the world of shamans, respectively ninja's world for Naruto. Both have talents much greater than their parents' talents combined. They both inherit the talents of both parents. They both have a kind of curse in them. Hana has the skeleton demon and Naruto has Kurama. Both end up being controlled by the curses at first until they manage to control them as their own power. They both have an extremely calm and relaxed father. The resemblance between Minato and Yoh is striking, in behavior. They both look extremely similar to their parents but predominantly to their father. Hana to Yoh, Naruto to Minato. They both have mothers who are the kind of woman that if you annoy them, you get a beating like you have never seen before, and very violent. And Minato and Yoh know this very well. Both parents end up together in a relatively similar way. Minato saves Kushina and Yoh saves Anna, and the list of similarities can continue between the two families and the two situations. So let me know in the comments what do you think about this comparison presented by me between Hana and Naruto. The reason I mentioned this comparison was to show that it's not necessarily a lack of inspiration, but that you can find similarities even between two different stories if you want to become extremely meticulous in creating this kind of comparisons. Automatically, there are also numerous small or extremely large differences between Naruto and Hana. Throughout this example, I just wanted to further highlight why Shaman Flowers is not a copy of Shaman King but a continuation, and that all the similarities seem very intentionally placed there. And now, the conclusion. As we discussed in the non-spoiler section, but especially in the spoiler section, it's clear that Hana is not a replica of Yoh, and the anime itself is not a copy of the original Shaman King series. And here I'm referring to the 2021 remake, as that this is the anime representing the original story of Shaman King, and the feeling that Shaman King Flowers gave me is more of a continuation, trying to maintain both the feeling of nostalgia and to create the idea of inheritance for the next generation in Shaman King Flowers. However, this idea is a double-edged sword. You may like it, you may even love it, or you may not like it, or maybe even detest it. There could also be a third option to be somewhere between the two previous options. And when you try to create such emotions in a story, there is always the risk of losing essence and ending up with the story seeming looking like a copy or lacking inspiration. But personally, I appreciate the author's effort to convey this message, and I think he did a very good job. However, I look forward to other opinions in the comments, along with the grade you would give to this anime. And now, I believe you want to know what grade I give the first season of Shaman King Flowers. And the grade I give the first season of Shaman King Flowers, it's 8. I don't consider it better than the 2021 remake or the original series, but neither do I consider it inferior to the previous part of the story, where Yoh is the main protagonist. That's why I decided to give the same grade as the 2021 Shaman King anime. However, if you have a different opinion, I invite you to share it in the comments. I hope I clarify my opinion about the Shaman King Flowers anime and sparked your interest in watching the first season. If you have other opinions, grades, or aspects you consider overlooked, please let me know in the comments. And if you like this type of content, YouTube suggests that you might like this clip, so give it a chance. I've been Azabe, I wish you pleasant viewing, bye!
Look around you, look beyond. You can make an unbreakable bond. The world around you, it's not what it seems. It's already very beyond your wildest dreams.
My mistake, I forgot we are talking about Shaman King Flowers and not Shaman King.